My name is Amy McCoy, and I own 993 Ashton Old Road. I'm the owner of my hometown realty group and CEO of the Greenhouse Entrepreneurship Wellness Center here in Douglas County. I'm here tonight to once again advocate for the increase of housing diversification within our community. Over the past 2.5 weeks, we've hosted multiple civic engagement events with the Chamber of Commerce. These events have highlighted the community's needs, and I believe is crucial for you as the leaders to understand these needs firsthand. First, I want to express my gratitude for your support in sponsoring these events and the engagement opportunities that they created. However, the support will be in vain if we do not take the necessary steps to provide affordable housing for our workforce. 2 years ago, I asked the board to reduce the square footage minimums, and I've repeated this request multiple times since then. I am pleased that Douglasville has begun incorporating these changes into its planning and zoning. I urge you to eliminate this zoning restriction, that it hinders affordable housing development across this county. Additionally, we need to be more intentional with the inclusion of ADA accessible housing by ensuring the percentage of new home communities have a true one-level ranch-style home. Instead of more apartments or build-to-rent for communities, we should encourage the construction of condominiums to promote ownership opportunities. This will reduce commute times, which is seeming to be a budget issue when we have so many of our workforce traveling and commuting back and forth to Douglas County. Thank you again for your attention and continued support in making this community more inclusive. So I hope that we will move forward in being more intentional. And then lastly, as we're on transportation, you know, South Sweetwater does need some love, y'all. Lithia Springs is still around, and we do need some infrastructure repairs, considering that was phase 1. My property is being damaged over there, and so I'm urging that we finally put the funding where it has already been approved. Thank you.
And I do have just a few words before I read it. I'm so thankful that Realtor Amy McCoy was able to come tonight, as well as Commissioner Robinson, because I do share greatly in their concern for our residents to be able to have affordable paths to home ownership that is genuinely the only path towards the American dream, and Douglas County has got to get on board and on the right foot with making sure that we have diversity in housing offerings so that people at all price points and all levels are able to attain home ownership. But I also want to make sure that people are looking past just wealth building and development and recognizing that home ownership affects you in so many more ways. It impacts you if you lose your kids to foster care and you don't have appropriate or adequate housing for them to go back to. It also impacts your access and ability to get medical insurance, health insurances, mental health resources. You cannot get in-home services, counseling that are available to people who are differently abled, and so we have to make sure that we are taking care of all residents, and that's why this was important to me, and I wanted to make sure that we were able to push this forward. And so I would ask, after I read this, when we take pictures, if Commissioner Robinson and Ms. Amy McCoy would be able to come up and take a picture as part of this proclamation, because they both have been champions for making sure that, one, we have educational opportunities about paths to home ownership, but then again also advocating to make sure that we have diversity in those housing types and offerings. And so with that being said, I will be quiet and read the proclamation. But it says, this proclamation from the Douglas County Board of Commissioners is National Home Ownership Month. Whereas June has been proclaimed National Home Ownership Month nationally by the President of the United States to promote home ownership and financial education, and whereas home ownership is defined as an individual owning a home that they live in, which allows them to become permanent residents of their community and own an investment to pass down to future generations, and whereas for generations of families, home ownership has been essential to their financial future and has been a pathway to wealth, and whereas home ownership strengthens our economy and provides stability to neighborhoods and communities across Douglas County, And whereas Douglas County encourages home ownership and supports the accessibility of quality housing and the benefits of home ownership to our community. And whereas Douglas County collaborates with stakeholders in the community, such as developers, financial institutions, real estate professionals, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and others to enhance an environment that promotes home ownership. And whereas National Home Ownership Month brings awareness to home ownership options and encourages citizens to invest in their communities. Now, therefore, the Douglas County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaims the month of June as National Home Ownership Month. So proclaimed this 17th day of June, 2024.